What is proportion? Well, if you've solved problems with ratio or rate, you've already done proportion, because proportion compares two ratios or rates that are equivalent. For example, let's say you're cooking rice, and the instructions on the bag call for a ratio of 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. So that's a ratio of 1 to 2. And what we want to know is if we're going to cook 3 cups of rice, how much water do we need? Okay, so to solve proportions, what we do first of all is set up the ratio. So we've got 1 to 2 is going to be equal to 3 to something. And then we're going to, because they're equivalent, right? That's what proportion is. Then we're going to cross multiply. So we multiply 2 times 3, and that gives us 6. And then we're going to divide 6 by this number that's left over, which is 1. So in this case, it's going to be 1. Okay, so a ratio of 1 to 2 is proportionate or equivalent to a ratio of 3 to 6. So here's another example. Let's say you have a map, and on the map it says that 3 centimeters on the map is equal to 5 kilometers in actual distance. And you measure the distance between 2 points on the map and you find that it's 8.4 centimeters. So you want to know how many kilometers is that? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up the proportions, set up the ratios. So it's 3 to 5 is going to be proportionately equal to 8.4 to something. And we want to know what that something is. So again, we're going to cross multiply 5 times 8.4 is equal to 42. And then we're going to divide by this one that's left over. So 42 divided by 3, and when you work it out, you'll find it's 14. So the answer is 14 kilometers. One last thing about proportion. Say you have two ratios and you want to know if they're equivalent or proportionate. How do you find out? Well, there's a couple of different ways. Say you have a ratio of 6 to 10 and a ratio of 30 to 50, and you want to know if they're equivalent. Well, how do you find out? One way is to divide 6 by 10 and divide 30 by 50 and see if you get the same answer. Another way is to cross multiply the two sides. So you can multiply 6 times 50 and you can multiply 10 times 30. 10 times 30 is 300, and 6 times 50 is also 300. So yes, these two ratios are equivalent or proportionate.